talking today to Mr. Douglas Murray, who is associate editor of The Spectator and is now based in New York. His latest publication, The Madness of Crowds, was a bestseller. His last publication, The Madness of Crowds, was a bestseller and Book of the Year for the Times and the Sunday Times. The book before that, The Strange Death of Europe, Immigration, Identity, Islam, was published by Bloomsbury in May 2017. It spent almost 20 weeks on the Sunday Times bestseller list. It was the #1 bestseller in nonfiction.
Yes, I'm doing videos on the moon right now. I'm on the last part of Jordan Peterson's series. Probably another week or two. We'll see if I make it through. The more and more that I listen to who he's propping up, the less I believe that he's an incidental, coincidental liar. But yeah, what do I know? So far, everybody that I've called out, I'm looking at it that way. I mean, Harold Kotz might be still a real person. We'll see what happens. We'll see if his minion brought this to him and see what he does with it, because he's had it over a year now to look at it, to look at what it is I'm showing you guys. And Candace Owens might be a real person as well. I don't see any evidence of it, but I know that they're going to have a hard time getting her any of what I'm showing you. So, you know, who knows? And then the same thing goes with Jordan Peterson. So when I get back to the house, I got to do some running around. I figured I'd throw the camera on in the car. Digital collection of electromagnetic nanocarbon from the cloud level. I'm going to go over some of the moon shit that I'm doing right now on the moon and everything like that. I want to show you guys, anybody that comes to my videos, I want to show you the different photos that you're downloading, how you can eliminate the ones with large pixels, anything that's been fucked with, CGI'd, photoshopped, anything like that. It's easy enough to do. The other day I downloaded, I think, 20 or so moon photographs and matched them with my own, and I only had 3 or 4 that are bad. I'll show them to you when I get back into the moon later, probably later today. Jordan Peterson's, one of Jordan Peterson's lecture, which I'll try to throw it on when I'm working on the moon, but I'll unfortunately have to keep cutting it off every few minutes because it's just so aggravating to listen to someone talk about this. So he's talking of Darwin. You know, we live off of Huxley's twisted version of Darwin anyway, right? So that's something that an intelligent person should know, right? I'm not claiming to be intelligent. I just happen to know that. It just happened to be one of the things I researched along the way throughout my life, and I researched it not through indoctrination, education of the school system. I did it on my own because I was curious. You know, I wanted to know about whether God was real or not, and if it was just endorphins that run through the brain when you're feeling that way. And now I have all the answers. Now I know all the answers to those things. God is real, but the God we're told about is not. So we have a true creator, and then a creator / false creator. That we can prove. We can prove it. We don't even need our imaginations to do it. You don't need to close your eyes and wish. No, it's right fucking here, man. It's all around us. So incredible how dumbed down we are that we can't see and look back. All of us, how we can't look back and see how they did this to us throughout the beginning of the false religions. And it also gives us a timeline. You know, when we can put together and say, okay, so the last 6,000 years minimum, possibly 10,000 years, but it probably took a couple thousand years after the last reset to even build up to a few million people on the earth, right? Then once we were up to a few million, things kept drastically jumping up and up and up. So I'm hearing him. I'm gonna probably make a list of all the things that Jordan Peterson, people and things that he has lied to us about and throughout his videos, and there are a lot of them. So whether he's an incidental liar, coincidental liar, in other words, a product of his environment, that I'm saying is possible. And it is possible because there's so many of us are such fucking liars. You know, is he making, is he working for the CIA? Is he a Freemasony, Illuminati-ish type of person? You know, that kind of thing. And the people that he runs with, definitely Freemasony, Illuminati-ish people, a lot of them. So I heard him yesterday talking up Darwin, and in one of his classrooms, you know, that he's pumping the kids. So, you know, that's nothing special to be lying to everybody about everything and then claiming that one of the other sides, because there are many sides, we've all been divided so many ways, but one of the other sides, oh no, they're wrong. They're the ones that are wrong. No. We are all wrong. We have all been wrong. We have to start all over again. And it won't be hard. It won't be hard to start over again. You don't have to crash the system in order to do that. The system will just fizzle away when everybody goes and looks. Because when everybody sees that they're living by imagination alone and no realities coming forth, then they're gonna, you know, people are gonna be pissed off. They're gonna be upset. The human population, and the thing that I keep trying to get through to people, and this will make the people at the top who are responsible, mostly responsible, it makes them feel better when we take the credit ourselves. They don't feel like we're gonna stop them from running to their caves when they go to, you know, do another reset, whatever that reset might be. It might be a nuclear holocaust fucking reset or whatever, and they'll get the population back down to a few million people on the earth, or whatever their plan is. So we don't have to go along with all that. And the way that things are going, if we all keep arguing with each other rather than looking at the obvious truths that are all around us that we can all see, they can't stop us from looking. And then when we do look and we do see it, you can't get mad at anybody really except ourselves. And that doesn't mean everybody go out and commit suicide either, because that'd be fucking stupid too. You're just getting to define the system after all these thousands of years. We're finally going to get it now, and because it goes against everything we've ever been taught, we're going to want to leave early. Fuck that, man. Don't give anybody the benefit of that, you know. Don't make it easy on them, in other words. No, just stay calm, relax, go look at it for what it is. It'll be more calming once we all see what it is and look at it for what it is. It'll be more calming. You won't be so anxious and upset. But when I start telling people, that's why they'll just run away usually. You know, you start taking away people's Jesus, their Muhammad, their Bill Gates, their Elon Musk, their Donald Trump, their Joe Biden. You start showing these people for who they really are, just human distractions on the world stage, right? And it's not a world, right? So you got to take away all the Star Trek fans and all the Twilight Zone people and all the space nuts and everything like that, because they believe that outer space is what they were taught in their books and what they see on their television screens and in their movies, and they think that's what it is. It's not. So, you know, as you tear down all these things, these people that really believe that life is based on these fictional things, because, you know, they can say, you know, I see the rocket go up. I was there among the 4,000 people that got to watch the launch. So I seen the rocket go into outer space. Oh, you did you? Okay, so you seen it from the ground go into outer space? Yes, that fucking thing took off and it went. Listen, man, there's so many things wrong with that, you know, that what are you gonna do? Argue, like I always say, with everybody? Because that's pretty much what you gotta do. It's fucking stupid, man. It really is. It's really stupid. So you know, Jordan Peterson's probably a lying motherfucker. Not probably, definitely is. But why? Is he a purposeful liar? Is he working with the top of the 1% of this on this earth who actually know? Because there are people who do know. There are people besides myself, and actually those people know more of it than even I do, because I'm only one person and I'm only finding it. and trying to share it with anybody that'll look, but nobody wants to look, right? So it's not like it gets shared. It's not like you got fucking millions of views on the internet or all this kind of thing, or you know, I got a television channel, or you know, somebody called me up and said, hey, you know, I see what you're doing, and I want to, you know, put it to so that everybody can see it. This is for everybody. You know, it's not gonna fucking happen. It's stupid, you know. So then Jordan Peterson's also constantly talking up the internet. Listen, man, we fucked our kids with this internet thing. We have fucked them the same way that our parents fucked us with the television, and the same way that Jordan Peterson's family fucked him with the books. Too much imagination. Everybody wants to live via the imagination, and it's not a good idea at all. It's not. Oh, we need our imagination to invent things, and bullshit. No inventions ever come from imagination. Those inventions are fucking in a vault somewhere, and they let them pop out every once in a while. I mean, look what's happened over the last 100 years, just in the last 100 years, right? Oh, it's technology advancement. Oh, it is. Is it? Okay. So the medical industry, yeah, look at how much longer we live. Wait a minute. These are all contradicting things. People are not living longer today. People are sickly younger today. They're at a younger age, they're more sick, right? So you got a whole medical industry, nurses, doctors, everybody giving birth to this fucking baby. And then all of a sudden they're injecting the shit out of it over the next few years, indoctrinating it, giving it brain damage by making it go to schools and learning our everything, because everything we teach them is a lie. So, you know, that's good. That's supposed to be good. But yeah, that's the way we look at it. So, you know, here he is again, Jordan Peterson, yesterday talking about the innovations of the internet and how great it is, and you know, we just got to be careful and tread lightly with Twitter and it. No, man, fuck them all, man. The internet's garbage, man. I'm doing this on this YouTube site. What is it getting me? I'm not going to get anywhere. It's not going to get out to anybody, right? I mean, think about it. One or two people here and there, and those one or two people that come are usually against what it is I'm trying to show them. So then it ends up me wasting time arguing and debating about what it is that I'm showing you, and you know, it's fucking stupid, man. So, and then at the same time, we claim, oh, freedom of speech. We got freedom. We got fucking First Amendment, man. We got the right to say and do what we want. No, we don't. No, we don't. It's all been programming. Just like when the flat earth, I like talking about the flat earth movement, because I like flat earthers were the ones, in my opinion, that were supposed to be the ones that were supposed to awaken to everything. And they too also, because their mirror neuron, their heart was being tugged on to awaken from this falsity known as the heliocentric vision, dream, program, right? It's just a program. And unfortunately, they were brought back to an older one, which is the geocentric programs. And the geocentric programs, when they went back to those, that was a CIA push. It was pushed. You know, the movies were all out. There was thousands of flat Earth channels in the first year. Many of them were already set up the year before Obama kicked off the flat Earth project. I don't like to call it a movement, because that's what the flat earthers call it, is a movement. It's a movement, all right. Just like the movement you take and you fucking go sit on your toilet. It was bullshit. And then the and that's the whole thing, to get you going out there saying things that are so ridiculous and nonsensical and easily proved to be false, and you're labeling it flat earth stuff, right? And then you set up with a lot of fucking CIA agents running these different channels, and they're so loony toony that anybody with a half a fucking wit's gonna listen to them and say, oh my God, no wonder they think the earth is flat. You know, maybe they should go up on top of a mountain and look down the mountain someday, you know, because they're not taking it literal, right? The flat earthers, they don't take the word flat literal, but they should, right? They should. Then why use it? Why use it if it's not flat, right? So call it a rockiest, mountainous terrain then. That's not the point. what you should have been doing, if you didn't get CIA'd and PSYOP'd out, flat earthers, then what you would have done is you would have went and looked to make sure you were correct about the heliocentric model, and you were, because it is all a lie. And then you would have went out and found a way to expose all the lies of the heliocentric model without labeling yourselves as nutcases, right? So if you would have done that, you would have been all fucking set. So then what happened was, by the time you were all labeled nutcases, then already, and I loved it, to be honest with you. The first year that it came out, I loved it. Talking to people who are heliocentrics, which is pretty much everybody, and you go to a party and you start calling them out on their bullshit stories that they go along with, they're so fucking ingenious. They're so intelligent. It's unbelievable. So I'd be at family parties or whatever, and I'd be questioning whatever. I heard Jordan Peterson do it yesterday, bringing up hydrogen bombs. And we were going to get into hydrogen bombs and this and that, and then he brought up and related it to the sun. Hydrogen, right? And it made me think of that thing I was saying under Candace Owens series. How silly do we? I mean, for many years, we're told that the sun is a burning ball of hydrogen gas and other gases as well in outer space, right? But at the same time, we're told that there's no oxygen in outer space. So without oxygen, there's no fucking fire. So we all know this, right? But yeah, we still go along with it. Then later on, they want to add something to. They don't care. They don't care that. You know, because again, they're giving you two opposite things. They're giving you two opposite things and then say they're both 100% correct and scientific. Okay, whatever that means, either way they contradict each other, so therefore they're nothing. They're nothing. They're just bullshit stories, you know? And so Jordan Peterson was bringing up that. He brought up talking about dinosaurs. I mean, the prehistoric times and stuff like that. Jordan, you got it all fucking wrong, man. You read way too many books, Jordan, way too many books. And to believe those books, you know? Darwin was full of shit, man. When you go look at the true system and you look at the true creator's work, you're going to see it's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, motherfucker. And then once you go look at that and you see it in the clouds, in the trees, in the ice, in the skin, in the fur, in the ground, in the rocks, in the stones, in the moon, everywhere you're going to see that it's feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, beast. You can go to the ancient caves, you can go to the ancient ruins, wherever you go and you look at the system and see it for what it is, you're going to see that the system is feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast. That's the true creator's work. That's the true creator's vision. Now, we're the ones that put those names on those things. I'm saying that feline, canine, rodent, ape, human, and beast, so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the true creator doesn't use words. True creator does not call them or name them or anything like that. That's not the way it works. But you have to go and look. You're not going to understand what it is I'm saying because you're so space aliened out or dinosaurs and Jurassic Parked out or whatever bullshit story that you're believed in over all these years. And one lie just led to another, and it just got worse and fucking worse and worse. It's unreal, man. So to listen to such who we consider to be intelligent people talk like this, it fucking sucks, man. It fucking blows. So he's building up Bill Gates. Yeah, Bill Gates, what a great guy. You're so fucking smart. Don't you? How do you get to be such a successful and such a... Are you fucking kidding me, man? The dude is fucking scum, man. I mean, all over this earth, that dude has been scum. And nothing but, right from the beginning, he's one of the ones, I'll stay calm. He's a plant, Jordan Peterson. He's a plant, just like I'm accusing you of being. There goes my uncle driving my fucking... Where the hell are you going, fucking liar? Another fucking liar. Anyway. What time is it? I'm gonna bust his balls. So Jordan Peterson, obviously I gotta get away from this series. It's driving me crazy. I'd rather go with somebody who is I don't even fucking know who to go for anymore. I guess the war in the West, the guy that's doing the war in the West, I don't remember his name now. I guess I'm gonna go with that one next and call him out. It's just one thing, I know, one person introduces you to another, you know. I feel kind of shitty about not finishing the Candace Owens series either. I had to finish it, and I didn't even really get to finish it, but I've got another 100 and something videos on the Candace Owens series on the Miguel Everyone channel, and those are definitely, I gotta label them first of all, but even labeling them doesn't seem to make any difference. If it's written out to anybody mainstream, doesn't really seem to get through. Because like I said, back when I did the Harold Cott series, if I did the Trip and Sponge series, if I did other series that were just small people or nobody people, then they got through. I was able to punch in the name of my series on YouTube, and within the first 2 names, I would start seeing stuff come up on the first, second, third page at least, of my tablet. I'd get to like the second or third page, and then I'd finally start seeing some of my videos, and I'd say, oh, okay, at least they're out there. I mean, not too many people go to a third page when they're looking for something, but whatever. At least I know that the people will be able to see them if they punch in that person's name, let's say Harold Kotz, and but now, since Candace Owens series, what I noticed is there's no more of that. They've stopped all that, and not only that, but the tyranny has come down even harder. And then here you are, Jordan Peterson, beefing up Google, YouTube, fucking all the technology, so great. Listen, man, we've destroyed our fucking children with this stuff. We've destroyed our adults with this internet garbage, man. The LED lights that you're telling them to, on the screens that you're telling them to look into. He was beefing up the fucking iPhone. Are you kidding me? Have you seen any larger contribution to the zombieism? If someone like myself stood a half a chance of waking up the population, any part of this fucking population, certainly not going to do it since the invention of the fucking iPhone that you, Jordan Peterson, are building up and saying is a great thing. No, it was not a great fucking thing. Because now we're dealing with, oh my God. Oh boy, man. So obviously I'm aggravated by Jordan Peterson. I don't think I'll be able to listen to much more of
Douglas and I have spoken several times before, publicly on my podcast and for Unheard, and he also moderated a discussion I had with Sam Harris. I've just finished his latest book, which is not out yet, The War on the West. When is it out, Douglas?
It's out on the 26th of April, so hopefully by the time people see this, it will be out.
Yeah. So, that's what we're going to talk about today, your new book. I read it yesterday, and I thought I might start with something technical in some sense, terminological. It might be regarded as a pretty inflammatory title, The War on the West, and maybe we'll start with that. What do you mean by war, and why use that term?
Essentially, that's interesting. I thought you were going to start with the West, which is
well, we'll do that next.
A really knotty one to untangle.
Yeah, well, we'll do that next for sure.
War, because what I say in the book is that this is what we've been going through. We've been going through a war on everything to do with the foundations of the West, everything to do with the results of the Western inheritance. And when I say that, of course, I mean the war, as I do it bit by bit, on Western history, a war on Western peoples, a war on Western culture, a war on Western religion and philosophy. This is a position that I argue that we've come to in the present age where everything is bad if it came from us, let me say, us in the West, and everything is good so long as it hasn't come from us. Now, I should stress, by the way, that what I'm describing here is Western anti-Westernism. There are plenty of other forms of anti-Westernism. There's Russian anti-Westernism, there's Chinese anti-Westernism, all sorts of other kinds. But the one that I think is most interesting, partly because it's so pathological, is what I'm really writing about here, which is Western anti-Westernism. Why we in the West have arrived at this strange place where we venerate everything so long as it's not our own. We respect things so long as it hasn't been produced by the society that also produced us. And I do think this is a fundamental assault. I think it's a fundamental assault, as I try to demonstrate in the book, on all of the foundations, the principles, the foundational figures, the heroes, the great stories, the great themes of the West even, have all come in recent decades under this just relentless assault. And I try to explain why I think that's happened. It's not an entirely new phenomenon, as you know. I mean, it's been a strain of Western thought, arguably, for some centuries, if not longer. But that in recent decades it's picked up a pace. And it's picked up a pace for some very obvious reasons. After the colonial era, it was inevitable that there was going to be an anti-colonial backlash, a post-colonial movement. But that's lingered and turned into something else.
I think this is the guy. This is the guy that does War on the West. Wrote the book, The War on the West.
I think it's
He's talking to Jordan Peterson.
A complete and fundamental assault on everything that the West has produced. And I think that's why it's deserving of the term.
To what end?
Well, that's a very interesting question because, of course, it's a different aim for different people. I mean, one of the people I write about at one point in the book is Fanon, Frantz Fanon, the distinguished and highly cited post-colonial author who, like Edward Said, had a profound influence in the academy. The foreword to his last book was written by Sartre. He was a very, very impressive in many ways figure. But his version of what should happen in the post-colonial era was, for instance, I mean, basically entirely Marxist, and it's one of the ironies I try to tease out about this. That, for instance, if in the post-colonial era people had argued that societies that have been colonized should be returned to a pre-colonial condition, with a return to, let's say, more of the native political and other habits, then that would have been one thing. But writers like Fanon were not doing that. They were arguing that the answer to the colonial era was Marxism. And of course, that has this tremendous irony, doesn't it? Which is that they say, well, this one form of Westernism, Western colonialism, must be replaced because it's Western. And what we'll replace it with is Western Marxism. And so that's just one of the motivations. I think it was a very strong motivation, certainly in the immediate period of the post-colonial era. There are different versions of it now, of course. There's let's say, the social one, the one where it's just rather gauche. I mean, of course, famously, writers like Orwell pointed this out many decades ago. Rather gauche to celebrate anything about your own society, and indeed regarded as being slightly backward, a sign of a sort of low-resolution figure that you would do such a thing, whereas the veneration of other cultures was a demonstration of sophistication. A sophisticate would do that. But we do end up in this position today, which is much more dangerous than that. One of the reasons I do the assault on Western history, and do it also by individuals, figures that used to be, and certainly in my own lifetime, I'm sure in yours, Jordan, some of the absolutely foundational heroes of Western history have come in for specific assault. And you could ask yourself, well, maybe that's because they're overdue some reckoning. And I think it's far more than that, and I try to show that. I try to show, for instance, that the interpretation of, say, Thomas Jefferson, or Winston Churchill, or Abraham Lincoln, has actually become an assault based on the following premise: that if we can take down Churchill, we sort of can get to the roots of taking down British patriotism. If we assault Abraham Lincoln, we've essentially not, and Thomas Jefferson, we've not just assaulted them, we've actually assaulted something that is the absolute root of the American ideal, the heroic story, the heroic figure. And then there's this further layer of that, which is not just with individuals, but with whole societies, so that, for instance, instead of understanding the history of racism as, well, racism is a highly regrettable and ugly human trait which is consistent across all human societies that we know about, and it is a part of Western history. Instead, the whole of Western history is made into a history of racism, in which racism was the guiding force. When, as I explained in the book, by any fair estimate, would see it as being an element within Western history, but by no means the thing that drove Western history. So it's this sort of thing.
Okay, so let's concentrate on that then. In terms of the values that you regard as being under assault in this war, what do you think the canonical values are that are the subject of this intense criticism? Now, and you describe Marxism itself, which is also a branch of Western thought, interestingly enough, as fundamental to this criticism. So, if it isn't, the Marxists basically make the claim that, something like the claim that history and human institutions, perhaps individuals as well, are to be understood as manifestations of their class identity. So as some form of group identity for the classical Marxists, it was class identity. And then history is to be viewed as the battle between an oppressor class and an oppressed class. And the oppressor class is motivated by the desire to exploit the victimized class. And then that's been transferred, I would say, to some degree in recent years to terminology that replaces economic class with race, but basically makes the same arguments. That seem okay. So the claim then is that the central motivation is something like the will to use compulsion in the service of group-centered goals, I guess. What's the Western counterclaim, and why? So that's one question. Is there a Western counterclaim, and why should we reject that analysis of history, given that things do get corrupted by power?
Well, I quote in the opening and later on in the book, as you know, a phrase of Nietzsche, which I sort of add to from the genealogy of morals. When Nietzsche refers in passing, I think it's such a remarkable phrase, I wanted to bring it out and throw it to the forefront. He talks in the genealogy of morals of people who talk about justice but need revenge. Now, this seems to me to be an extraordinarily pertinent insight to our era. When you talk about some of the scholars and writers that I try to tear into in this book, they have. I'm thinking figures like Ibram X. Kendi, Robert DiAngelo, quite a number of others. I could go on listing, but these are some of the main ones. They're simply not interested, it's clear, in a sort of fair analysis of the West, or its history, or its traditions, or its claims. They're interested in a form of revenge. And some of them are perfectly open about that. I mean, Kendi is perfectly open about the fact that in response to one thing, it might be necessary to punish another group. He says it completely frankly in his most famous book, How to Be, ironically titled, inappropriately titled, How to Be an Anti-Racist. And it's extremely clear from the work of other people in this movement, people like Hannah Nicole Jones of the 1619 Project. What we're really talking about, and certainly talking about with the people tearing down the heroes of the West, is people who are saying, okay, you had your go, and now we're going to have ours, and we're going to see how you like it. How you like being talked about in extraordinarily racist terms. How you like being lumped in and homogenized as a group. For instance, white people, Western traditions. And again, this isn't an entirely new thing. I point out again with one of the most prominent post-colonial writers, Edward Said, who every benighted student has had to study at almost any university has come across Orientalism at some point. And one of Said's fundamental critiques of the West is that it essentializes people in the East. And, there's quite a lot of points to make about that, but one of them is he's extremely good at essentializing people in the West. He'll refer in passing, Said, to, for instance, your average 19th century European.
Yeah. The thing is that we have lied to not only everyone else, but we've lied to ourselves. So I'll finish up these videos to Jordan Peterson, and then I'm gonna get going on this guy. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna listen to a little bit more what he's got to say on the War of the West before I start on another series that I'm gonna be aggravated that I did. The thing about it is, what it is that I'm showing you proves that there's a God, a creator, but yet you're going to be pissed off because it's not the God that you were told about. Any of them. So you can choose from 5,000 different religions, right? Easy. Different branches of each one and stuff like that. One of the stories I like to point out and talk about all the time, and because my memory is so bad, I don't remember the exact dates and stuff, but when you look at the Philippine Islands, and you looked at from after the Spanish Inquisition, the Philippines were mostly Buddhist, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were Buddhism, but that's not the point of the story anyway. Maybe it was that other religion that I'm thinking of. But anyways, it's close to Buddhism. But anyways, the point is this: we Europeans, the West, because we were not even the United States yet when all this went down. Well, yeah, I guess we were, but we weren't. We were not the ones really sending them over there. It was the Catholics. Anyways, the churches, the Catholic Church, decided that they wanted to infiltrate the Philippine Islands, just like we do everywhere else. I mean, we do it everywhere, whether from Europe or from America. We're always infiltrating everyone. Anyways, it was amazing to me that it took them 500 years, I believe it was, before they could even make a dent in Catholicism. And then when you fast forward to today, from the first time they sent over their first, I forget what they called them, the first pilgrims, nuns, whatever they were, pillagers is what they were. But they started setting up these little church type things and schools and stuff like that in the Philippines, and they tried to get the people interested in Catholicism and everything like that, and they couldn't do it. They were not going to drop their religion, and 500 years before it finally took. And there's stories about how it all went down and everything like that, which is pretty interesting. You know, it's interesting how, you know, you look at how they had to fight and everything like that in order to get it to go through, and how different pilgrimages were sent over there, and then one failed, and then they sent another group over, and then that priest and some nuns and stuff had a better chance at doing it than the last one. And it's 500 years is a long time to try to convince them. And then that was only to start it. That was only to get it 500 years just to get it started, right? Then you flash forward to today, where the majority of the Philippines Islands are Catholic. You know, 90-something% are Catholic. So, you know, so we know how to program people. We always have. We've always programmed the human population. And you guys, you know, Douglas Murray, is that his name? The guy that wrote this book on the West, talking with Jordan Peterson. And when they're talking about it, it's it just sucks, because there's just so many branches of the lies that where do you begin them? Where do you end them? Where do you feel that you're spinning your wheels? They're just, the information falls on deaf ears, blind eyes. So they believe in evolution, even though looking at the true system is going to prove without a doubt, 100%, there's no question about it, there's no, all will be told, as I like to say. When you go look, all will be told. the building of life, when life begins, all these things, they were all lies. We've been lied to about everything. And the funny thing is even under our divisions, all sides are lies. You would think that one side or the other would have some truth to them. And there might be little bits and pieces of truth trickling down through them, but that means that if it's not all factual and all true, then you have to start with the lie, right? You got to start with whatever, because that one little lie could be make a big difference. You know, it's not a little white lie. There's no such thing as little lies. You know, I explained in the Candace Owens series about when life begins and how it's built, and we had Darwin and other people explaining it to us and showing it to us under a microscope, how life was, but that's not the way it works. The builders don't even work that way, you know? It's so fucked up. The builders do not build from the inside out. The builders work for the true creator, and the true creator does not care about up, down, left, right, backward, forward, in, out, in or out. The true creator does not care. True creator does not build accordingly to your up, down, left, right, backward, forward, in and out scenario that humans have claimed that life is built. You know, we'll watch a flower unfold, and even under a microscope you watch a flower come out of a seed and unfold, and you're thinking of it as being built from the inside out. It's not. The builders are all around us, building us all the time, from the outside in, from the inside out, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, from the middle to the end to the. It doesn't work the way that we were told, and we can see it. We can see it for ourselves. We don't have to guess anymore, you know. But you got to go look. You got to go fucking look. So listen to everybody's lies, man. I mean, got rid of the television a long time ago. Only since starting the Candace Owens series, I've been pulling up Fox News less often than I was a few months ago when I was doing the Candace Owens series, but I'm still pulling it up. I'm watching what's going on and stuff like that. Bunch of fucking liars. And, you know, 10, 15 years ago, I would have agreed with these liars. I would have said, oh yeah, that makes sense. Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't have to. None of them make sense on any side. They're all fucking idiots. Geniuses, I mean. You know what I mean. Be back.